Once again, on behalf of Zoho Analytics team, I welcome you all and thanks for joining this webinar. So today's topic is what's new in Q2 2023. We are thrilled to welcome you all to this webinar where we are excited to present the features and enhancements added in the product in the last quarter. We continue to push the boundary of technologies and working effectively to enhance your experience and trying to add more value in the product, which will definitely help you to understand your business data better and make better decisions and actions out of it. Quick round of introduction. I'm Silas. I'm one of the senior product managers, and I'm going to present this webinar. Along with me, I have a set of product management team members join this webinar. So I have one of my colleague Anandaraman, who is another product manager, and a couple of associate product managers, Santosh and Naresh, are also joining this webinar. So our team will be taking care of your questions during this session. And of course, we will have a Q&A at the end of the session as well. So without any further ado, let's get started. Let's have a look at the agenda for the day. So I'm going to start with Zoho Analytics overview. Since we have mixed attendees, some of them are new to the product altogether, and some of existing customers who's been there for a while in the product is also a part of this webinar. So we're going to spend a couple of minutes to give a very quick overview, and then we'll get into the core topic of the day, which is what's new in Q2 2023. And finally, we'll have a very quick summary and we'll open up the floor for Q&A. A very quick overview to Zoho Analytics. Zoho Analytics is a modern self-service BI and analytics platform. It's been there in the market for more than a decade of time, and it's one of the pioneer players in the cloud BI space. With this a decade-long journey, we have earned loyalty of more than 16,000 paying organizations who use Zoho Analytics Cloud and on-premise extensively. And of course, we do have a lot of customers outside the 16,000 numbers who use Zoho Analytics as part of Zoho One, CRM Plus, and other bundle application. Together, on every day, we do have more than 70,000 businesses using Zoho Analytics actively. We are serving more than 2 million users across the globe, and we have customers over 150 plus countries. Very quick product flow just to set the stage and ensure that you get set with the product, because the briefing and the presentations and the demonstration will be in this flow. So everything starts with connecting your data. Obviously, any BI applications, you need to import data from different data source. So Zoho Analytics supports more than 250 plus different data sources, which includes local and cloud databases, a whole lot of business applications, files and feeds, and so on. So once you import this data, eventually you get into the stage where you go ahead and prepare and transform your data for analysis. And the visual analysis phase gets started, where you can create reports and dashboards on your own. But for all the business apps, Zoho Analytics comes up with a whole lot of pre-built reports and dashboards, which helps you to kickstart your analytics journey. Not just that, we have consciously embedded AI capability in all layers of the product, which eventually helps you to simplify your business process, easily get insights, and use it effectively. Also, the product supports the simple drag and drop interface, which allows any type of business users to create any kind of visualization. And when I talk about the visualization, obviously Zoho Analytics supports more than 50 plus different visualizations, dashboards, and so on. And the last stage is more into the collaboration aspect, where Zoho Analytics offers a fine grained access control in terms of how you can share the created content with different users. Eventually, you can also publish these views. You can create alerts to get notifications if something has been achieved or some criteria changed and so on. You can also create slideshows and portals, craft a data story, and present it to n number of users. So that's a very quick overview about the product flow, and I'm going to present the features on this flow today. With that, let's get into the very special announcement. I'm sure some of you may already aware of this capability. We launched this in May 2023. So, to talk about this feature, I was trying to conduct a quick research and analyzing the timelines of some of the popular applications such as social media platforms, music platforms, gaming platforms in reaching the milestone of 1 million user adoption. So, the timeline took by these applications to reach the 1 million user adoption. On average, it used to be at least a couple of months, but last year, by end of November, the generative AI launched, and it hardly took a very few days to get that adoption of 1 million. And eventually, in January 2023, it crossed more than 57 million users. And followed by in February, it crossed more than 100 million users. So it has a record breaking adoption rate in the history of tech industry. So yes, it's the OpenAI ChatGPT. So the new technology is generative AI, and it fits in BI and analytics domain seamlessly, meaning it solves many use cases in the BI domain, and it's going to be evolving continuously, powerfully, rapidly, and helps any kind of business, be it small, large enterprises, helps them to get better insights out of their data. So we have launched this OpenAI ChatGPT integration in May 2023, where Zoho Analytics has a very seamless integration in some of the capabilities. And also, in terms of the data privacy and security, we allow users to configure their own API keys. And in terms of data sharing, so currently your business data will not be shared with the ChatGPT. So when you enable this integration, in some cases, we will be able to sending only the metadata information like the column header and the table name and data type, but the actual transactional data of your business applications will reside in Zoho Analytics, and that will not be shared to any third party. So with that, I'm going to talk about some of the key features that we have launched as a part of this OpenAI integration in Zoho Analytics. The very first feature is the formula generation. So I know this is the trickiest part for many business users, right? You have to spend hours and hours of time to identify what function that you're supposed to use to create a specific formula. With the OpenAI ChatGPT integration, it makes the whole process simple. With the help of prompt engineering, you can simply type in the natural language of what you want and you will get the formula. For example, here I'm trying to create a formula which helps me to calculate the difference between the order date and the current date. So when I type in what I want, it gives me the suggestion with the function and the column names and so on. In some cases, you may not get the right result, but however, it will give you a very high level model where you can simply go ahead and tweak it and use it immediately. The next important capability is query creation. Once again, this is a game changing capability for many users, even some advanced users, because on one aspect, the business users doesn't need to understand the SQL language and so on. On the other end, uh, powerful advanced users who are already aware of the SQL language still need some kind of hand holding to make these process quick, right? So that's where this ChatGPT integration helps. So with this OpenAI integration, you can simply type what kind of query that you're looking for. And it's better you also specify some column name and the table name to get it constructed easily. And within a couple of minutes, you will see the result on top of it. So here we are trying to create a query table which helps us to add the order amount and the state-wise tax rate. So when I type in and click on generate, it gives me a very simple query. Once again, a very quick note. Sometimes you may not get the exact result, but it helps you with the overall concept and the model where you can simply go ahead and make changes and start using it. Within a minute, I can go ahead and create a query, execute the result, and use it as a part of my visualization. The next update is finding new data sets. How this helps. We do often come up with some, we do often see some support tickets where customers come up with some questions like, can I fetch or synchronize the latest currency conversion data or weather data in some cases, or some tax rate which is available publicly, and so on. So, in certain cases, you may need to blend your business data with the external data to create a benchmark and do some analysis. For that, this feature will help you. So, in the import screen, we have enabled a tile called Find External Dataset, where you can simply go ahead and search what kind of data that you want to use. Behind the scenes, it's going to send the query through ChatGPT and it gives you the latest data. So here you can see that the table where I'm trying to get the tax rate in different state in US. So we got the result in less than a minute. All right, so let's get into the next feature, which is Synonym Suggestions. So I know some of you might be using the Ask Zia feature effectively, which helps you to create report using the natural language processing and natural language querying technology. Now, the important factor when it comes to using the Ask Zia, or in case you prefer to expand the adoption of Ask Zia within your organization, you need to train the Ask Zia with the right set of synonyms and right set of column priority and so on, which is a game changer feature once again, because the end users can simply go ahead and ask the question, be it a mobile application, be it web interface. They can simply ask the question like a Google search and they can get their report and they can get insights to make a decision. So to train the Ask Zia, we have enabled the integration with Open AI, which helps you to get some suggestions for synonyms. As you can see here, the column name is province. When I click on suggest, it gives me different synonyms like county, state, district, region, and so on, which I can simply go ahead and add it as a synonyms. And I can set the column priority and so on and train the AskSia, which eventually helps me to democratize the data and insights access within my organization. So those are all the four capabilities and the features that we have launched with the OpenAI ChatGPT integration. And eventually we are moving forward with more and more features inside the product. And also we are planning to extend more and more LLMs, publicly available LLMs, which you can integrate and use it. And over a period of time, Zoho will come up with our own LLMs, which might works with a domain specific data and so on. So this is going to be your future. With that, I'm just going to jump into the other updates that we made in Q2 2023. So I'm going to start with the new data connectors. So data connectivity is one of the critical um, area where you need to bring in your different data source, you need to automate the data import process and so on. So we are going to continue expanding more and more business connectors, databases, different services and different options and so on. So in Q2 2023, we have launched three business connectors. One is BigCommerce, the other one is Google Analytics GA4, which is the latest version, and the ShipStation. And also we have launched the Azure Cosmos DB connection. Let me quickly demonstrate these capabilities. So let me start with this BigCommerce. In the home screen of Zoho Analytics, obviously you can go ahead and click on import your data, where you can find a whole lot of data import options available inside Zoho Analytics, where you'll be able to find this BigCommerce integration. When you simply click on it, it'll take you to the authentication page where you can put in the right set of information, authenticate it, and start using it. So as soon as you start the integration process, within very few minutes, it will end up in creating some dashboards on top of your big data. So those dashboards are very crucial metrics to kickstart your analytics journey. As you can see here in the orders dashboard, we have some orders number, the total refund, and the total number of orders trend with some forecasting and the distribution of payments, so and so on. So this is pretty much extensive. As you can see here, you have the overview dashboard with all key metrics with different categories like orders, product, shipment, and so on. Eventually, you have some insights on top of your coupon data, which you can see how many conversions that you get out of the coupons that you have distributed, and what exactly the cost associated with it, and so on. And similarly, some customer insights like the customer addition trend, customer distribution by location, and the amount distribution based on the customer group, and a lot more. So you'll get a lot of reports and dashboards to kickstart. And at the left, when I click on data, you can see all the modules that we support. So almost all core modules in BigCommerce is supported in this integration. So you can start using it in case if you're using the BigCommerce. So please note that we already support Shopify, WooCommerce, and we are also planning to expand more and more e-commerce with the Zoho Analytics data connections. Next, data connections that we have supported is the Google Analytics GA4. So some of you might already aware of it. There was an old version called Google Universal Analytics, which is going to be, I mean, absolute means just it's not going to be in use as we move forward. So we will continue supporting this integration as long as Google supports the API for it. And we have also launched the Google Analytics 4, which is the latest version. And using this, you can simply go ahead and import your data in terms of page tracking and your overall website performance, demographic data, so and so on. So when I click on data, you can see some of the important modules like AdWords, demographic, event tracking, page tracking, and all these information will be available and synchronized automatically. On top of it, you will have a whole lot of insights where you can track it for each and every landing pages that you have. And of course, your AdWords performance and other data set as well. You can also create your own reports based on your requirement. One of the frequently asked questions when it comes to the Google Analytics 4 is some customers using the Google Universal Analytics and prefer to migrate to Google Analytics 4. So please note that when you go to the Explorer tab in your old Google Universal Analytics workspace, you can simply go ahead and select some reports, whatever that you're trying to migrate. Click on Export at the top and choose this option called Export as Template, which will be downloaded as a file. And you can simply go ahead and open the new workspace, which is the Google Analytics 4 workspace. Click on Create and choose Import from Template. This helps you to migrate some reports as long as the column names and table names are same. In case you have some difference, you can go ahead and map it during the import process. Finally, the other business apps integration that we have offered is ShipStation. So this is also widely used along with Shopify, WooCommerce, and so on as a part of the e-commerce business. So once again, we support a whole lot of core modules here like products and orders, and eventually it comes up with a lot of pre-built reports and dashboards as you see here. And in case you want to customize it, open it, edit it, and make the changes out of it and start using it. So with that, I'm just coming to the end of the business apps integration, and let's have a very quick look at the Azure Cosmos DB. So the Azure Cosmos DB is something that being supported as a part of databases. So in the import screen, open the database and the click on local databases. So as you know that the local database works with data bridge. So ensure that you install the data bridge first and ensure that it is active. And as a part of the databases, you have a very long list here like SAP HANA, Oracle DB, and so on, where you can also find the Cosmos DB, where you can simply enter the connection URI and other details, and obviously the account key, the database name to start this connection. And you can import the data from the Cosmos DB. So let's have a look at some of the enhancements that we made in the data connection layer. So the first enhancement is incremental data fetch. So when I say incremental data fetch, it helps you to synchronize only the latest data from your databases, particularly the cloud databases. For example, I'm just going to quickly show you a demonstration based on Amazon RDS. So let me open the tile and I'm going to enter some of the credentials. Let me choose the right database, which is MS SQL, and I'm going to specify this endpoint and some credentials, which is straightforward. And I can also enter some of the database details and so on here. I can go ahead and connect. So during the setup process in any databases, you will be able to see different options here. So let me just stick with the single table and proceed with the data import process. We rename the workspace and create it. So within a couple of clicks, I was able to connect my Amazon RDS and import that particular table. Now, during the schedule process, you can see at the top that there is an option to choose all records or only the modified records. So all records technically fetch the entire data set during every data synchronization. However, when you choose only the new or modified records, as you see here, it only fetch the new or changed records every time. So this option require a column to identify the new records where you can choose it easily. And you can define what kind of import that you want to perform. And in very few clicks, you'll be able to schedule this. So let's get into the next update, which is the scheduled import option from intranet files. So this is once again one of the frequently asked feature in Zoho Analytics, trying to automate the data import process from the local drives and so on. So to do that, you can simply go ahead and click on this files and feeds, where you have an option called intranet. So when you click on this, eventually it allows you to choose a data bridge. If you notice this at the bottom, there is an active data bridge, which I have selected. And you just need to simply specify the URL, which is the path of your local drive. And in case you need to deal with the authentication, you can do it, but simply specify the path, choose the file type, be it JSON, CSV, XML, whatever it is, and you can proceed with the data import process from the local drive. The next update is Google BigQuery in Panoply. So I'm just switching back to the cloud databases here. And in the cloud databases, you will see the Panoply. And here, the database type is now supported in two different options. Previously, it was only Amazon Redshift. Now we also support the Google BigQuery. The next update is we support Live Connect in SQLite. So let's get into that. So if I just go ahead and choose the local database again and go ahead and choose the database called SQLite, where I can simply provide the full file path. And at the bottom, you have something called data import and live connect. So you might be aware of it. Live connect is nothing but direct querying option. So it is not necessary that you should import all your transactional data inside Zoho Analytics, you can simply connect and bringing only the metadata information like the column headers, data type, and so on, or table name and so on. And you can start creating reports and dashboards. So this live connect option is supported in many databases, in many local and as well as cloud databases. So this is now supported in the SQL Lite. And the final update, it's a very small enhancement, but it might helps a lot of customers and partners. So in some of the workspaces where you connect any business applications, for example, here is a workspace where we connect Salesforce and Zendesk. For any business applications, when you go to this data sources page, some customers prefer to access this particular page from different views. So you have the option to copy that particular data source page in specific and use it in different places. For example, a particular partner and a very large enterprise customer who prefer to have this link at the top of their dashboard. So what they did is they simply go ahead and add a text here with the hyperlink of this data sources page so that they can easily navigate back and check what is the latest synchronization time and the status and so other details. I mean, so that's the last update when it comes to the enhancements in data connections. So let's get into the next stage, which is the core analytics. So as soon as you connect different data sources, bringing in those data inside Zoho Analytics where you consolidate and everything, the next stage is more into the preparation and transformation, where you create a lot of formulas, where you build your data model with lookup capabilities, create query tables, and so on. So on that layer, we have updated some enhancements and new features. So let's quickly have a look at that. So first, I'm going to start with the duration functions. So let me open this particular workspace and a particular table called visitors. Now, this is a table where we are taking information from Zoho Sales IQ, like data, and you can see the visitor name, the phone number, and all those details. You can also see a couple of columns called the first access time and the last access time. So here, if you notice this, we have the date, time, and other details. And eventually, Zoho Analytics support something called duration data type. So duration data type will eventually help you to calculate the duration, something like the number of days, the hours, minutes, seconds, and everything as you see here. Now, we support a whole lot of function on top of it. So let me right click on this formula and I can edit. So as you can see here, we have added this date time diff in the duration. So this is supported for quite a number of months. But what we did is we just added more and more functions on top of the duration data type, as you see here. Particularly, I just want to highlight this function called round duration because in some business use cases, you prefer to round off that value that you get. For example, here, the difference between the two different date column is 79 days, 9 hours, 6 minutes, and some seconds. But you just want to round off to the nearest uh, number, which is 79 days. So as you can see here, using the round function, we did this. So similarly, a lot of updates when it comes to duration data type in particular, and a lot of functions has been added. So let's get into the next important update called variables in window functions. So some of you might aware of this capability called variables inside Zoho Analytics. So let me quickly show that. Inside the settings of a workspace, you can open the variables tab and you can see the list of variables that you have created, or you can go ahead and create a new variable. So to give you a very simple explanation, variables are nothing but a placeholders. Like you can use this information dynamically as an input in various places like sharing, user filters, what if analysis, formula, and so on. So you can create variable in Zoho Analytics, and you can see the list of variables that I have already created. So in this case, what I'm trying to do is I have a simple data set here called sales, and I have the date-wise sales and profit information. Now, when I use the window function, so window functions are available as a part of formula, which helps you to do some kind of advanced analytics like Pareto analysis, correlations, and so on. Now, in this case, if you see this, whenever I apply the window function in my dataset, obviously that helps me to go ahead and perform some operations like adding all result of a particular aggregate expression within that partition. So for example, if you see this, this is one partition where you prefer to perform some kind of operations with these three rows when I try to plot the report. So let's look at the report here. So I have a report which gives me the kind of a monthly sales trend. But what I'm trying to do is whenever I take any value, I'm trying to take the sum of the previous month and as well as the next month, and I plot it here. So this is kind of an operation that you perform in each and every partition of a report. Now, what we support is we allow you to add variables right inside these window functions. So let me edit these window function formula. As you can see here, it's a window sum, and I have the range one is defined. The next range, I just added a variable. So I just simply go ahead and insert a variable which I have created already, and I use it as a part of my formula. So with this, what happens is while I'm viewing this report, I can simply change this variable. So this report will change dynamically because you can see that the variable or the end range is dynamically changing for the next five data set and so on. So that's another update in the product where we are supporting the variables and the window functions as well. And please use variables extensively. It helps you to save a lot of time, particularly on the administrative perspective. Sharing and collaboration can be done easily using variables. And also you can use it effectively inside formula, user filter, and so on, which helps you to do some advanced analytics. One good example is Pareto analysis. So the next update is API support for creating and updating query tables and formulas. So I'm not going to show anything here on this point, but as you might aware of it, through API, through the REST API in Zoho Analytics, you can create or update a query table and formula as well. And the last one, query table grammar suggestion. So as you might aware of it, in the recent past, we have enhanced the usability of the formula editor and the query table editor with the latest font and the complete layout change with a lot of suggestions and so on. So when you type in a function, it gives you the suggestions contextually where you can choose the right functions and keywords and use it then and there. So this helps you to speed up the process of writing query tables in Zoho Analytics. So with that, we are completing the core analytics part and we are moving to the augmented analytics layer. So when I say augmented analytics, it's nothing but any capabilities that comes with AI and ML as a technology. That's what the augmented analytics is. So two major features in Zoho Analytics, Ask Zia and Zia Insights, or augmented analytics, obviously. So first, let's start with explain data using Zia Insights. So let me go back to that same workspace, and I'm just going to open this particular report called Tickets by Priority. So as you can see here, it's a monthly tickets trend with the different priority that we have. So previously, what happens is whenever you have any kind of visualization, for example, like this, you can you can simply click on the Zia Insights at the top, which gives you a narrative summary on top of any visualization. And obviously, it gives you some of the key metrics as a part of the results because it runs a whole set of analysis behind the scenes like comparative analysis, trend analysis, and everything, and gives you a result on top of it. So this particular option works on top of the entire data set. But the update is when you focus on a particular report like this, you can simply click on a particular data point where you can see explain data Zia Insights option. So you can get insights in a specific data point level. For example, this particular data set, in the underlying, we have 243 tickets in total, and the maximum ticket, that's 63, was observed in the week 10, and the minimum ticket was observed in week 9, and so on. So you have all those information, but please note that this works in that specific data point. All right. So the other update is drag and drop reports from AskZia. Once again, in terms of creating reports, I know you all will be using AskZia to an extent. So please ensure that you train the AskZia well and try to use it effectively. So you can use AskZia using this option, but what we support now is AskZia available contextually right inside a dashboard. So when you're trying to create a new dashboard, you can find AskZia at the top. So you can simply invoke the AskZia and ask your questions like show me the sales by items, and it's going to give you the result that what you're looking for, like sales by different items. So this is the report I need, so I can just start using it as a part of my dashboard, right? So I can simply go ahead and click on this drag and drop option, and I can put it in this dashboard, or also I have the option to add it to a different dashboard as well. So the latest update is I can simply drag and drop it and put it to this particular dashboard. So this will be automatically created as a view inside a specific folder, and you can start using it. So you can go ahead and open the Ask Zia again, keep asking the questions and change your visualizations and keep adding it inside your dashboard like this. All right. So let's get into the next update called include or exclude forecasting data in what if analysis. So many of you might aware of it. Zoho Analytics already support something called what if analysis. So using the variables as a part of your report, you can create a what if analysis here, which is nothing but you dynamically parse an information and the report changes appropriately. For example, here we have the monthly sales trend with the forecasting. And if I just change the profit percentage I have, what will be the impact in my business? Now, what happens is inside this particular report, I have the option to customize the forecasting where I can include or exclude the what if analysis on top of my forecasting data. So in this case, when I just include it or exclude it, in this case, I just included it. So I have the option to change this variable, which eventually changed the forecasting type altogether based on that calculation. With that, we are coming to end of this augmented analytics capability, and we are just moving to the visualization layer. So very few updates. I just want to run this very quickly. So let's get into this visualization. The first update is data as row or column. So for that, I'm just going to open this particular report called tickets summary, where I can see the agent wise, the support engineer wise, the priority wise, tickets and other information like reopen, unresolved, and so on. Let me click on edit design. As you can see here, I have row level categorization, which is the agent name and the priority. And I also have few aggregate values added as a column, data column particularly. So what happens is, let's change this visualization like this. So I'm trying to change this as column as the header, which is the priority. And then I have the row, which is the categorization. And I see a whole lot of different insights. So when I go to the view mode, I have a very long scroll here to identify the priority wise different metrics for each and every agent. Now, what I can do is I can simply go ahead and change this option called data as row. So instead of each and every data points that created as a column header, it will be automatically converted as a row level header. So as you can see here, the data column, all those headers are changed as rows, and you get the appropriate results here. So this helps you to create some specific format reports in some cases. And the next update is GeoMap projection. So if you might seen this report called sales by region, now we have this GeoMap for different state in US. And if I just simply zoom out, as you can see, always uh, uh, I mean, a particular state goes up, and you don't need a complete view on all the countries here because you're particularly focusing on US in specific. So in this case, you can change the projection of the map altogether. You can go to the settings, open the maps, and choose display a specific projection or a country. So instead of the Mercator projection, you can choose this Albus USA projection and apply. So this helps you to create a particular report like this, which is just focused on US data in specific. And Alaska is obviously just placed here just for the a single view visualization. So this might helps a lot of customers who are based out of US. So the next one is restore deleted views contextually inside the dashboard. So this is something some of you might aware of this already. Every time when you go ahead and delete a visualization or somehow a particular visualization is deleted, then all you need to do is you just need to go ahead and search it in the trash and find that and replace it, restore it, and so on. So a quick enhancement in the usability, as you see this particular visualization is deleted, I can simply click on edit design, hover this, and restore it contextually right inside the dashboard. It's a very small update, but helps in a lot of cases because sometimes the visualization might be deleted if you have a dependent columns removed in some cases. So you can easily fix that and restore all the visualizations here. So the final update, it's not something that you will be available or you'll be able to see it or access it in the product because you need to contact our support team to get this extension. So there is an option to create multiple tabs on top of your dashboards, right? So that is limited to 10 tabs currently. On request, we can extend the number of tabs up to 20. So if you need that, contact our support team through support@zohoanalytics.com. So let's get into the sharing and collaboration, which is the final phase. And we have very, very exciting updates here. And I'm going to start with this Tableau in Zoho Analytics. So many of you wondering why we are integrating or talking about Tableau in Zoho Analytics webinar. I can read your mind voice here, right? So let me tell you this. Of late, in the last couple of years, there is a concept emerging called BI Fabric because the analytics and BI applications are widely used in different part of an organization, in different department level, so and so on. So what happens is, let's take an enterprise with more than 1,000 employees, and you have 10 different departments. Now, if you take applications like CRM, it's always an org-wide deployment. You cannot have multiple CRMs, which is not easy to manage within an organization. But analytics, not necessarily a single application required. Some specific department can adopt a particular analytics product, and some department can adopt a particular analytics product. We come across these use cases very often when we work with the enterprise customers. So, for example, the sales department might be using Tableau, marketing department might be using Zoho Analytics, and the finance department might be using Power BI, and so on. So, what happens is the executives and the leadership teams need a comprehensive view to access all the insights in one place. So we are one of the first player in this world who are introducing this concept called BI Fabric in analytics portals, which allows you to create or bring in visualization from different BI applications into single place. So we just launched it only for Tableau. Our plan is to expand it to other popular BI application, and this really helps a lot of enterprises. So let me quickly show you a demonstration here. If you see this particular portal, this is a portal builder where you can simply drag and drop the visualizations from Zoho Analytics to create it. But if you click on other BI apps, you can also see Tableau right inside Zoho Analytics portal. So portal is like a microsite builder, right? So you can embed visualizations from Tableau as well. So simply you need to go ahead and authenticate your Tableau account. Obviously, you need to provide a lot of information here. And please note that always provide all projects access. So in this way, you can access different visualizations and put it in a single place. Let's quickly have a look at a quick video demo here. So the video demo will show you how you can embed or drag and drop the Tableau visualization in Portal. So this is an authenticated account. So when I click on it, I'll be able to see all the visualization available in Tableau. I can simply drag and drop it inside Zoho Analytics. So as you can see here, I'm accessing two different visualizations from two different business applications in a single place. I'm sure executives and leadership team going to get impressed with this feature because this is the much essential feature as we speak, and this is how it's going to be as we move forward. So the data layer will be semantic and fabric across multiple applications. Similarly, the consumption layer of analytics will also move towards the same goal. So we understand the trend, and based on that we started building this. So we will expand to other BI applications in future as we move forward. And next important update when it comes to the visualization and collaboration is custom roles. I'm sure this is going to be an exciting feature for a lot of administrators out there because you'll be spending a whole lot of time in terms of data governance and the visualization governance, because to provide access to different users with different applications, whenever you try to uh, go ahead and add a new visualization, you have to provide that access to some power users and so on. So this custom roles will help you to solve a lot of problem in terms of data governance and visualization governance. So let's have a look at that. So to create a custom role, all you need to do is simply go ahead and access this organization settings page at the top. So when you access the organization settings page under general category, you'll be able to see this manage roles, and you can simply go ahead and add a new role here. When I do that, on a broader level or on a very high level, it gives me three different options. So within a particular workspace, instead of making someone as a workspace admin, I can simply go ahead and provide access to all the dashboards inside that workspace. So whenever you go ahead and create a new dashboard, you can that particular user who have access to this dashboards level role can see those dashboards. And of course, you can have a fine grained access control, like you can allow them to create folders, you can allow them to interact with all the visualizations in the dashboard, or they can share it with other users if needed, and so on. So you can define the fine grain access control when you're trying to share only the dashboards inside a particular workspace. So when you do this and when you create a role and you associate an user to this role, that particular user will be consuming only the dashboard with all the permissions that you have granted here. The next option, just extending this to reports also, not just dashboards. So when it comes to reports, obviously you see that you have more capabilities in terms of publishing permissions, where you can also allow them to manage the email schedulers, the data alerts, and so on. Even you can control it, that the user can manage all email schedulers or only the schedulers created by that particular user, and so on. So they can also create slideshows, craft data stories, and publish it, or make these views public, right? So you have fine grained control on how you can provide access to these users for both reports and dashboards. And the last permission is data. So when you do this with the data, you have more and more control here, because you want them to go ahead and create particular record and add it in a table, or delete record or add the record, and so on. They can do it. Similarly, changing the designs of a particular report, structure of a table, and so on, you can do it, or you can restrict it so they cannot access the edit setup at all. I mean, edit design at all. And you can define all these permissions and go ahead and specify a role name. And let's say I just specify this as a super admin role, um, and I can simply go ahead and add it. So when I go ahead and add these roles, and inside the Zoho Analytics, whenever I try to go to the workspace settings and try to manage users and add a new user, I have the option to choose the role at the top. And eventually you notice this, the two roles, custom roles I have created in organization settings will be available here. So when I choose this, this makes the process pretty simple. So the super admin role I just selected so that that user can go ahead and simply access all the data, reports, and everything. And of course, you want to restrict something, you can do that as well. So I'm sure this is going to be an exciting feature for many administrators out there. So with that, I'm just coming to a very simple update as the last. So this update is more towards the email schedulers. So let's assume that I'm trying to share this report via email and I'm trying to schedule the data export process. So previously, all these emails will be sending to a particular set of users. Now you have the option to segregate and control the to and CC part of an email, which is a very simple update. So with that, we are just coming to the end of this updates, obviously. I'm just going to give you a very quick summary of whatever we have gone through. So the first one is in terms of the open AI integration. um, it helps you with creating formulas, creating query tables, finding new external data set, and so on. And of course, the synonyms for Ask Zia, which you can train it and use it effectively. So please note that if you really spend a couple of days and train Ask Zia, you can really enable the data democratization within your organization, where any users can simply get the required insights using mobile or web anywhere at any time on ad hoc basis. So the other updates in terms of data connections is the new connector like BigCommerce, Google Analytics for ShipStation, and Azure Cosmos DB, which is the database, and some enhancements in terms of the incremental fetch, schedule your internet files, so and so on. And of course, in terms of core analytics, some good enhancements and new functions in duration data type, variable support in Windows functions, some new APIs to create and update your query tables and formulas, and finally, some enhancements in the query table editor. And in terms of augmented analytics, once again, you can explain a particular data point using ZI Insights, drag and drop reports for Ask Zia right from dashboard, include or exclude forecasting in terms of what's new, what if analysis. And in terms of the visualization, a good set of updates, particularly in the pivot view, data as row or data as column, new map projection type like Albus USA projector, and wildcard filters in the tabular view, and of course, some couple of small enhancements in the tab dashboards, and also contextual restoration of visualizations. And finally, couple of heavy lifting features in the sharing and collaboration, obviously. Tableau inside Zoho Analytics portal, which address this BI fabric problem, and your executives and the leadership team going to love you with all the important update that you have here, because this is going to be a very crucial feature as we move forward, where they can have 360-degree insights across your dataset. Now, in terms of the custom roles, once again, on the administrative aspect, data governance is one of the hottest topic in the BI industry. It's a very critical and very trickiest process when you deal with hundreds of visualizations, many data sources, and so on. So define custom roles, provide right access to the right users appropriately, use it effectively. And finally, the two support, CC support, and so on. So some of the good enhancements when it comes to this to update in the product. Thank you all for joining this webinar. I hope it was informative. If you have any feedback or new feature requests, contact us through support@zohoanalytics.com. And obviously, you can also access our help center to get a whole lot of information. So, thank you all on behalf of the Zoho Analytics team. Have a fantastic day ahead. Bye.